95.3 FM, streaming at WSMN.live.
The views and opinions of the following show do not reflect those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Lisa and Robyn are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robyn on the mic.
Welcome to Lisa and Robyn on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live as well as YouTube. We are always up on Spotify. I have missed you.
I have missed you. I feel like it has been a long time.
It has been 3 weeks.
I think I have some trauma. I
have
abandonment issues. Not even speaking, not even talking
human
on the phone.
beings, right?
I need to hear her voice.
I did leave you a voicemail.
I never got it.
Oh, when I went for a walk.
No, I never got it.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
All right. Well, we are in the studio and we are very excited. It's a beautiful day in New England.
It is.
We have Kyle Gassman, owner of Freedom Boat Club in Laconia.
That's right. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome. As you know, you heard all last summer that I am a founding member. Can I call myself a founding member?
Yes.
Can I elevate my status?
I will anyway.
I'm going to anyways. So my husband and I have been entertaining the Freedom Boat Club franchise for 13 years or some ridiculous amount of time. Probably 2014 is when we first started. I had a client who was in New York, and we would talk about boating because I would manage his properties here and I'd sell his properties here. And he's like, I'm going on the weekend with my kids, belong to the Freedom Boat Club. And I'm like, I looked into it. And I would keep bringing it to John, and he'd say, no. And then we just rent boats once or twice a summer because our idea was we were going to own our own boat.
Yeah.
And then, we have really expensive champagne taste, just so you know. And it kept feeling like no matter what, it was always out of reach. And every few years I would say, well, what about the Freedom Boat Club? What about the Freedom Boat Club? And my in-laws have a place up in Paugus Bay on Lake Winnipesaukee. So starting probably about 7 years ago, we'd rent twice a year. We'd rent the boat. But you'd have to bring it back, at 2 or at 4.
Yep.
And so I called last year because I was like, I don't want to wait anymore for boating to be the boating adventures, the boating fun, the boating experiences and memories, the time on the lake. I don't want that to be postponed anymore. So I called and said, are we able to just see a sunset on the boat? And you said you were the first franchise.
We are. We were. Yeah. There's others now. But yeah, we were the first. And it's such an important part of boating for so many people. That's what my wife enjoys the most, is going out, not for the whole day, but going out for 45 minutes with a glass of wine, watching the sun go down, and then it drops 10 degrees and she's ready to get back off the water. But if you're trailering, if you're doing all these other things aside from that, it's really a barrier to being on the water, right? So that 45-minute sunset cruise is not something that you can do if you're trailering, because you're not going to spend the 2 hours of getting the boat ready and the 2 hours of putting it back to bed afterward for 45 minutes on the water. So, with this model, you can come down and take it out for 45 minutes, or you can take it out for the whole day. Yeah.
So Freedom Boat Club basically is like fractional boat rental ownership.
Yeah.
How would you describe Freedom Boat Club?
So it's kind of like joining a country club. So you pay a one-time entry fee and then monthly dues, and that gets you unlimited access to all the boats at your home club, and then reciprocal access at, I think we're at 440 clubs around the world right now.
That's amazing.
There's 40 locations in New England, 110 in Florida, so we're really popular with the snowbirds, and now we're on 3 different continents. So expanding every week. It's hard to keep up with the new clubs that have been opening up.
But the benefit of it is you have all, and I can testify, you show up with your bags, you put them on the boat, you leave, you come home, you take your bags off, and you go.
That's
You
it.
don't gas up. You don't clean up.
And you
don't
guys actually even
maintain.
set the GPS location. If you get on the boat and say, "Hey, we want to go here today," you guys put the coordinates in.
Absolutely.
And it's
And we did
easy.
learn that because the very first day we went out on the boat, he was like, we got a text message. Wow, you guys set a record for the most amount of miles ever.
They did. They saw. I mean, there's 8 towns around Lake Winnie.
We
and
saw
I
them
think-
twice.
Yeah.
We saw them because we were, and I said all we were doing was looking for one specific sandbar, and that's really what we. And he goes, "Okay, we can just set the GPS for you." We're like, "Okay, tomorrow." we're gonna take you up on that every time we go out. Can you please put us here?
Yeah, and our dock staff loves helping everybody plan out their day and make sure that you've got a fun and stress-free day. So a big part of that is knowing how to get where you're going and not having to worry about the navigation and the hazards out there.
And one of the things that I really enjoy is because I've been a property manager for 25 years. Not any at this moment. I'm not a property manager necessarily, except my own property, but. Maintaining plow trucks, maintaining equipment. It's just this never-ending feeling like you're down or you're doing something or something needs to be done. And that can rob the joy of motorcycles, boats, like all the fun toys.
Absolutely.
The maintenance of them becomes a headache.
Yeah.
Taking them in and out of the water if you don't have a slip becomes a headache. And then people get all excited and they have that first year of boat ownership, and then it's just less usage because it becomes too many obstacles to a good time.
It's another barrier to getting out there, right?
Not Freedom Boat Club.
No. And we've got the
Yes,
boats
actually.
wherever you want to be. So, if you're traveling, like one of my favorite ones to share was my wife and I were traveling. Where were we going? We were going out west somewhere, had a layover in Chicago. Flight kept getting delayed. I said, she'd never seen Chicago. So I said, let's go downtown. We'll walk around and just check out the city. Stumbled on a Freedom Boat Club location we didn't even know existed, and they had boats available. So took her up the river, the one that they dye green for St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yeah.
And, totally different boating experience
Yeah.
when you've got, skyscrapers on,
Yeah.
50 feet on either side of the river and everything. So just fabulous. It's boating experiences that you couldn't have owning your own boat.
Right. Because you're not trailering it to Chicago.
Right.
You're not trailering it to Florida.
Right.
You're
We were
not
on a plane. Yeah.
Right.
We had 4 hours to burn.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we have a place in Florida, and we've done the reciprocal in Florida.
Awesome. Where'd you go?
We went to St. John's Pass,
Yeah.
and it was phenomenal.
Awesome.
Phenomenal. Saw 1 million dolphins. Just had that Florida experience.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for more and more places of like, is there one in Montreal? Like all of the trips we have planned this year.
Absolutely.
Where is it? Because that has to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And you have Boston,
Yep.
Charlestown, Quincy. So you can get, like you said, the city experience. Come in to see the skyline.
Absolutely.
And I think the best part of Boston is from the water.
Yes.
Because you don't have to deal with traffic.
Yeah.
Well, I was
And you've been on the boat with us. What do you think of it as like a guest?
I love it because we owned 2 boats when my kids were little. We had a cuddy cabin.
Yep.
And then we got a bow rider as they got a little bit older, but I could never trail it. It had our last boat, it had a double axle.
Yep.
And then I had the Suburban. So me trying to back it in and out of the water, so we had some friends that had a place on a lake, and she's like, bring the boat over. And I'm like, well, I can't drive it. And she's like, he would get it so I could just go drive straight. And then somebody else from there would back it into the water because literally, it's just a hairpin turn and it's all of a sudden you're sideways and you're like, how do I get out of this mess? But
I'm jackknifed in under 3 seconds.
and even putting it in and taking it in and out of the boat out is hard for you to do as myself.
Well, one of the things that I think is so funny is your tires are wet, your boat is wet, you're inclined, and if you don't really have that down, you're sliding backwards with your trailer because the boat is heavy. Not everyone has the right vehicle for the right size boat because everyone's making do with.
Yep.
We bought all of this stuff and then we got a bigger boat the next year, but we didn't get a bigger truck. And so if you want to realize that you don't want any part of that, go to YouTube and watch boat launch fails and you just watch 45 minutes of everyone trashing their vehicle or their boat. And you're like, you know what? I'm just going to join a
That's why any boat lift in the country, or boat launch in the country, you'll see a bunch of old retired guys sitting along the side in golf carts or whatever, because it's the most entertaining place to hang out. They'll
Yes.
spend all day there just watching people fail at the boat launch. So.
Yes, my daughter's boyfriend, there's a YouTube channel that does like boating fails and stuff like that, but there's a lot of people right at the dock all the time, and they were, when it's like there's a big spot down in Miami that they all stand and watch, and like college kids come and like heckle people, and like it's blown up, like it's terrible.
If it wasn't stressful enough, right? Yeah.
Then now the performance, first of all, you've got to do it probably with your spouse, right? Or somebody, so there's that dynamic, right? And then the person who shouldn't be doing the activity is doing the activity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. But people don't, people think about like, oh, a monthly subscription versus owning a boat. Like I always liked the idea of owning my own boat, but when you think about the gas that it takes to trailer it, the gas to run the motor, the boat itself, getting it in and out, everything that you have to do, cleaning it, making sure it's maintained, the engine, as long as you don't have any engine trouble, it adds up what you spend over a year. And then if you don't have a place to store it, you have to winterize it, shrink wrap it. Like that was a huge expense.
I mean, we have members that sold their boat to join. I'd say a third of our members are in that category of lifetime boat owners and just got sick of all the things that you're describing. For one of them, he was telling me a few weeks ago that even just covering up the boat at the end of the day was enough to say, you know what?
Yeah.
We're not going out tonight, because when we get back, I got to spend time covering that up, and I don't want to go through all that, right?
Yeah.
So,
And everybody loves the boating. Nobody loves the work around the boating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so by the money that you spend per year owning a boat, I think is probably more expensive than doing the Freedom Boat Club.
We're an easier sell for boat owners than new boaters, because they know all the, it's either time or money or both, right?
Yeah.
So boat owners know all that stuff going into it, and they say, wait, you're going to do all that for us? We just have to show up? It's fabulous, right?
Yeah. And you guys even take care of like trash if you needed,
Oh yeah, the families with the kids and the dogs. I mean, those boats come back wrecked, and when you get on it, hopefully it's been clean every time. Yeah, I mean, our boats are all brand new, so it should look like a brand new boat when you get on it. And I mean, we find candy and dog hair in places we didn't even know needed to be cleaned.
So how often do you cycle through boats? So you have like a shelf life of
3 years.
3 years.
Yep.
Okay.
So they all have to be less than 3 years in service. So we turn them as frequently as needed. But the boats on freshwater lakes like Lake Winnie, they don't have all the the salt and everything that needs to get washed off every day. So they stay looking amazing.
So, and how many boats do you guys have up at Winnipesaukee?
So we have 3 right now. We started with 1 at the beginning of the season last year, or that was our first year on the lake. And then I think we added a second boat in May and a third boat in June, and we'll probably stay on a similar frequency this year. So basically, as we grow members, we want to make sure that we've got boats to accommodate them. So the Freedom Boat Club tells us to stay around like 8 to 1 members to boats.
Yeah.
That makes sure that everybody's got great availability, so you can get a boat when you want it, right? Because that's, I'd say, the biggest hesitation, the biggest question we get is, what happens, how often can I get a boat? What happens when I want a boat and you don't have one? So we really try to avoid that. I think that's the kiss of death for any club. So they say 8 to 1. We're at 4 to 1 right now. What we've said is until we get to like 5 boats, we're going to stay around 5 to 1. And that gives us the flexibility to say, pull a boat out of service to do some maintenance or repairs on it, get it back in without, jeopardizing anybody's good time.
Yeah.
And what's really amazing is I'm a pilot, and one of the things I loved about flying was this idea of adventure, right? So I meet John, and he's like, that's great, but what about boats? And I'm like, I really hadn't been on a boat. I mean, on vacation, I would water ski.
Yeah.
So I'd be on a boat for 7 minutes until they threw me in the water, and then I'd water ski behind a boat on vacation, and that was that. I didn't know people who had boats and stuff. So then we started renting boats, and I'm like, well, this seems amazing. I can totally buy into the lifestyle of this. And I think because I never owned a plane, but I flew planes, because you rent them in the same type of thing as a club, the idea wasn't foreign to me, because everyone's like, don't you want your own plane? And I'm like, the plane I want, I can't afford.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with boating. The boat I want, I can't afford.
And now you
Just
can
so you
choose
know.
whichever boat you want for the day, right? Because just
Yes.
like a car or an RV, a boat is a compromise. No matter which one you get.
So are you
And
getting a pontoon, or are you getting a speedboat,
Exactly.
or you're getting this?
Fishing boat, yeah.
A fishing boat?
What boats do you guys have now?
So basically, any body of water where there's a club, we try to run boats that are typical of what you'd see on that body of water in that area. So if you go down to the coast, it's a lot of center console fishing boats, dual console fishing boats. Out on Lake Winnie, it's a more social recreational body of water. So we run tri-tune pontoon boats and bow riders. You can fish on any of our boats. We haven't had a ton of fishing demand. If we get more fishermen in the club or families that are wanting to do more fishing, we'll throw a purpose-built fishing boat in there. But all of our boats are set up with tow bars, so you can pull the kids on the tube behind the pontoon boat as easy as you can the bow rider.
And we did that. We got the tube and we
Yeah.
put the nephews on it. It was super fun. What do you think? What has been the number one objection you hear when people learn about your club for not joining?
For not joining, it's probably, it depends on who it is that's coming in, right? So if it's somebody new to boating, the upfront cost it looks to be a barrier because you see, okay, $7,500 to join. I could buy a boat for $7,500. Well, you can, but not this boat, right? Not any of these boats. These are all $75,000 to $100,000 boats. So it's what you want to get into. The folks that know boating, that know the costs that you're talking about, the cost piece is less of a barrier. It's more apprehension about, can I do the sunset cruise? Can I keep the boat overnight? Can I do the same things with the club's boats that I do with my boats at
it's
home?
the lifestyle am I having around this boat?
Yep.
So when I went to learn to fly, you go to a club, you go with an instructor, you have a ground school, you have a flight school, and you marry the two, and they set you off. Boating's like, hey, here's the keys. And you're like, what? What happened?
Nobody's getting on the boat with me?
No one's navigating.
You trust me?
Like, you're just giving me the keys. Like, every time we've ever rented a boat, I'm like, you're okay with this.
Right.
Like, you took the little class, left on the right, right on the left. Yeah, red, right, return. Sure.
Yeah, but not on Lake Winnie, right? We got totally different markers up there.
Right. So what I think is amazing is, the little bit of apprehension of like, okay, you're giving me the keys to a boat. I've got, like, I go out twice a year. How really skilled. But you hooked me up with Captain Meredith.
Yep.
And she taught me parking. So this year I'm going to take her up on hooking into the sandbar.
Yeah, anchoring.
By myself.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I haven't been going out by myself, like during the week when I have a quiet day, is because I will want to do a little sandbar time, and I don't know how to do that by myself.
Yep.
And when you do it with different people, everyone has a different way to do it, so there's a lot of swearing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, we're having a really good time, no swearing. And we have a really good time, no yelling. Really good time, not. So I'm trying to get to the part where it's the most seamless thing in the world, and I feel trained.
Absolutely.
And you connect us with people, and Captain Meredith is like, tell me her qualifications. She's like an amazing person.
Yeah, she and her husband are very impressive. So they're members, but she's also a retired Coast Guard captain. She has her 100-ton certification, so she could pilot the Mount Washington. And so we're lucky enough to also have her as a training captain, and she's hilarious. She's got a
awesome.
great personality. Awesome. She's done some sunset cruises for us as well. So everybody loves hanging out with her, piloting the boat as well. Her husband is retired Air Force Special Forces, and they both so retired from Coast Guard and Air Force. Came to Laconia with their kids, and now she's Marine Patrol officer, and he's with Laconia PD. And so and then they spent a ton of time on the water with the club last year. So either one of them will come down with the kids and take them out, or they've come down on their own and taken that out just solo for an afternoon. So,
but if you say I want to work on something,
absolutely,
you just make a time with her. She goes out with you on the boat. You practice what you want, and now I feel competent and comfortable versus just, really, you giving me the keys?
Yeah.
Because I do feel like and that my husband said John says that's the last vestige of freedom that hasn't been tamped down by the government.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but we wouldn't want that in the sky. Just here's some keys, go fly.
Planes falling out of the sky. Yeah.
But I feel like we could drown real quick in this. We can crash real quick. And one of the things that I loved about Captain Meredith, she was like, don't do this. Don't everything. Everybody does these 6 stupid things. So don't do these 6 stupid things. And then as I'm out on the water, I'm like, that's number 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So you start
And I'm not
spotting
doing it.
Right. And that's, I mean, we do a little bit of on the water training like you were talking about with new member orientation. So you come in, you spend an hour in the classroom just making sure we talk about some of the rules of the road, and then 2 hours on the water. And then you've got unlimited access to these captains after that. So as often as you want to come in and build some new muscle, they're there and ready for you. We want our members to be not the ones, like when you see a rental boat out on the water, everybody's like, wow, steer clear of them, right? We don't want our members to be those folks, and we don't want them to feel like that, right?
Yeah.
We want you to be comfortable going out and, parking the boat at the docks in Wolfboro in front of 3 restaurants of people that are just, praying that you're going to fail. Yeah.
Drinking and watching you with their cameras out.
Exactly. So we want you to be
for it.
comfortable and confident
wait
doing
for
those things.
So how did you get into this?
So similar to Lisa, I found out about it like 13, 14 years ago. I was on vacation down in Florida trying to rent a pontoon boat, and I called up this Freedom Boat Club thing in Destin, and they said, no, we don't rent boats. You have to be a member. And I said, what is that about? Like, I'm a lifetime boater. I've been boating since before it was legal for me to boat, and so it's in my blood, right? And this, as I started looking at the concept, really resonated with me because if I haven't always lived on the water. Like, we live on a little lake in Maine, which actually we're selling that house today. I'm going to closing when I'll be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, getting closer to Lake Winnie.
Yes, excellent.
So so the model really made sense to me because when you're not living on the water, there's all those barriers that we talk about to getting out and boating. And I'm like, this is fabulous because now I can just walk down, get on the boat and go, come back. And so we had kept an eye on it. My career before that was in engineering and sales, nothing to do with boats. And so this was just something that was kind of in my DNA that made sense. And we had our second child on the way in 2024. And my wife said, it's time for you to get off the road. So we were looking at starting a business, and the Lake Winnie area was available. So these are all franchise-owned clubs. It's 30% company-owned, 70% franchise-owned. And that central New Hampshire...
Is it Brunswick?
Brunswick is the parent company of the brand. Yeah,
Okay.
So Brunswick...
Are they a boat builder, too?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So Brunswick owns Mercury, Harris Pontoons, Sea Ray, Boston Whaler. So a lot of the big brands and a lot of the motors that you see, that's all Brunswick. And then Freedom Boat Club fit into another business unit of theirs that they purchased in 2019. So Freedom's been around for almost 4 years now, but Brunswick bought them out in 2019 and really just kind of exploded the growth. I think in 2019 there were, I don't know, maybe 150 locations, and now we're almost to 450 in the last 6 years.
So what other countries? Do you guys have places in the Caribbean?
I don't know if we're in the Caribbean yet. So the challenge I think with the Caribbean is you want home club members, right? So like if you're a member on Lake Winnie and you go down to Florida, that Florida club gets $0 when you come to visit, and so you make money on your home club members. So you really need to have a population that's going to be using the boats there all the time. So like Puerto Rico, we do have, I think, 2 or 3 locations in Puerto Rico now. So there's a Puerto Rican club. We're in Australia, New Zealand, Spain. You've probably been looking more than I have lately.
I know, I have been.
Yeah,
I was
like,
Montreal,
what-
Did I miss
Canada.
any abroad? But that's why I was really excited for your Greece, your vacation there, because I think my wife and I have been talking about going to Greece at some point when we get some time, and that the boating culture there seems to be strong. That'd be an awesome spot to have a club.
Yeah, so I learned a number of things this trip to Greece. They have over 6,000 islands, just under 300 are inhabited. So they're very much a boating. It's from island to island. You can get on a plane or you can get on a boat.
Yeah.
And so they have those huge, giant sea jet ferries, which are phenomenal. They go, it feels like they're going 60 miles an hour on the water. I actually have like the rooster tail behind it as a video. And the guy's backing it up like, we're backing up a Kia into a parking spot, spinning around, and they do like, passengers, please get to the demarcation point, because they literally drop you off and the guy is taking off. I mean, it's quicker. The bus stop in the city takes longer for people to get on and off this boat as the Sea Jet. Like, as he's backing up, they're already putting down, and the second he touches, the ramps are touching, the cars come off, the people come off, and they leave. And as they're leaving, they're raising the ramps for the cars to come back on.
Wow.
So we went to Piraeus, which is just this huge boating port.
Okay.
It's actually owned by China, which I didn't know, but that's like a big thing. And we'll get all political with Greece for a second, but Greece is amazing. And one of the things that I think would be so awesome there is there's an island called Milos, and everyone knows Santorini. When you see any picture anywhere
It's
on a
usually
calendar or
Santorini.
whatever, it's from the top of Santorini. It's the white top of the church with the blue
Yep.
top and this beautiful caldera. But there's no beach there. There's no beach there because it's a caldera, so it's sheer rock
Rocky
rubble.
cliffs. Yeah.
Rubble.
Yeah, somebody always said that, Santorini, as a patient of mine was, and she said, really, Santorini is a one-day trip.
It may be 3, you can push it out. Maybe. But Milos is quite unpopulated compared to some of the other islands, but it is growing exponentially, and they have beautiful beaches, and they have a pretty little port marine area. I can show you some pictures.
Awesome.
And when we went, I really just fell in love with it. So I'm like, if they need me to start,
Yeah.
if you need me to start, you just tell me.
You're there.
I'm,
Awesome.
I'm quitting real estate tomorrow. You tell me. Because what's really been funny is, so we did this last year. We take out our family. I did the 7 days a week, so I can go out any day of the week. You can do just a weekend one.
Yeah.
Or just, if you're retired, just a weekday one.
Yeah.
Or you can do 7 days a week. as
Correct.
different packages. And I'm going to start getting my captain's license. I
Awesome.
determined that this year.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'm a reader. I had a heart problem. I became a cardiologist through the books. I'm going to become a boat captain because
Yeah.
I really want to feel really comfortable, because I do want to go all these places and explore all these things and feel really confident.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And I also feel like there's so much to the water
Yep.
for safety. Like, you've been boating your whole life. I'm coming to this in my 50s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's the current and the wind, and so on the way back on the Sea Jet in Greece, they're handing out
Baggies.
Bags.
baggies.
Yeah.
And we're joking, we're making videos pretending John's throwing up in the bag and stuff. Well, you can see the island, then you don't see the island.
Oh.
You can
Yeah.
see the island, and I'm starting to get nauseous, and I'm like, oh, you don't joke
Yeah.
when they bring that back on. And the waves are probably like 15 feet from the top to the trough on some of them. And then they're hitting us on the side
Yeah.
at some point, and then they change routes a little bit. But I'm just like, I would not know how to drive
Sure.
a boat in that. Not
Yeah.
that I would ever go out in that,
Yeah.
but you could get caught up in something with weather or
Absolutely.
something. So
Even on Winnie. I mean, we watch the weather. It can pop up really quick out there, and we had one last year where freak storm came in, wasn't forecasted, and we had about 10 minutes notice to get everybody on the phone and just say, hey, find somewhere safe, get your bimini top down, and just hunker down.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're on the other side of the lake, you don't have time to
right.
make it all the way back in for us to catch you.
and I will say that what do you call your duck hands? That like
Dock hands.
Okay, dock
Yep.
hands. They'll say, "Hey, it looks like we're getting rain around 2. Do you want to come in?" I mean, they're
Yeah.
communicating the whole time. Or we're saying, "Hey, we noticed the boat wasn't rented after us. Is it okay if we stay out?" Yeah, no
Yeah.
one ended up taking out the boat, so it is like you're talking to your friend on the,
Yeah.
come here, do this.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's super easy, super fun. So you said you boated your whole life. Where did you boat? In Maine?
I grew up in Michigan, so
Oh.
yeah, I grew up on a
The
little,
Great Lakes.
Yeah, the Great Lakes. Yeah, I did. We boated on the Great Lakes as I got a little bit older, but I grew up on a small inland lake, and I mean, I was operating a boat when I was 6. Like it was like having a great big backyard, right? And so I'd just take the rowboat out or a paddle boat, and I'd go fishing, and then expand it from there. So I've owned a boat. definitely my entire life. But then so moved from Michigan. I was an engineer with Toyota and with Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I kept, I had a
So
boat
what
down
kind
in-
of what kind of engineer? Just
So
Kentucky Fried
I went
Chicken.
to, right? Yeah.
Wait, so do you know the
no, I
secret
need some.
recipe?
I don't. No, they keep those separate. Yeah. So I went to school for packaging. So I've got a packaging degree. So with Toyota, I was working on export packaging. So we'd build an engine here and we'd ship it to Japan. I made sure that it got there without being damaged. Then went to a paper bag company. So that was a blast. Paper bags don't sound that sexy, but the customers that you have for paper bags, it goes everywhere from, your grocery store to Abercrombie and Fitch. So one day I might be working with McDonald's on quality control stuff, and then I'd fly to Virginia Beach and open up a new Whole Foods and teach kids how to bag groceries without ripping the handles off. And then the next day we'd be with Abercrombie accepting an award for like the things that we do for our people at the plant in Mexico. So had a blast with that job. One of our most difficult customers was Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they approached me and said, "Hey, we've got a packaging role available if you want to come in and talk to us." And I thought, these guys are tough. Like I don't know that I want to work there. Fabulous culture. Like I didn't know it until I got in there, but they're really good to their people, and it was a really fun place to work.
Really?
Colonel Sanders' office, yeah. And so I was the one developing all the cups and buckets and chicken boxes and those kind of things, and so I had a blast with that for a few years. And then had an opportunity to, of all things, sell glue up in New England. And, being in Kentucky was great. I was in Arizona for a couple of years for that paper bag company and had the opportunity to move back north. And that's really in my blood. I missed the cold. I missed the winter. My blood's too thick to stay in Kentucky that long. So it was a good opportunity to come back, and then was covering a territory that kept growing and growing and growing. And it just was keeping me away from home for too long. Being on the road 3 to 4 nights a week takes a toll on me and my family.
Yes.
So this was the right opportunity where, my wife also grew up on a lake. She grew up on a lake in Maine. And so this fit well with our personal values.
Your
and
lifestyle.
And then it also allows us to do things like, coach our kids' baseball teams and, be around when we need to be around. So like during the school year, I don't have a whole lot going on. I'm picking up the phone and things, but, now we're getting into the summer and things ramp up. They don't see me as much, but I'm home every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when do you guys open for the season, and when do you close for the season?
So we've got boats in the water right now. We're going to start training next week. So all of our new members that came on since last fall, they'll come in and do that couple hours on the water with us. And then opening day is May 11th. So we're open the second Monday of May until the second Monday of October, which is Columbus Day.
Yeah.
We've got a full 5-month-long boating season. So our boats are out there and operating. Our members are out there earlier than most people even get their boats in the water.
Yeah. Wow.
And we have some beautiful days. And
Oh, yeah. And the fall is amazing.
we were out really. We were one of the last boat weekend. I think we
If
rented
you were out
one-
in that first week of October.
We were.
Yeah.
And it was a stunning weekend.
Yeah.
Like it was a beautiful weather day, actually. I mean,
With the colors, I imagine.
but we
Gorgeous.
noticed like, oh, the sun sets earlier.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
Yeah.
that was different about it was like, oh, the sunset setting. That's what you're chasing because you can
Yes.
be out because we're out half an hour to sunset.
Half an hour after sunset. Yep.
Right? So the sun drops and then you have a half an hour to get back because there's still light in the sky. And we did sunset.
Yes. Yeah, that was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a beautiful lake, and that was an important one for us that we had to petition our insurance company on, was being able to do that post-sunset boating, because most of the locations you have to be in 30 minutes prior to sunset, and it seems crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
well, it's still light outside. There's no reason that people can't be out boating safely right now. So we do a couple of things just to let people know when to turn their navigation lights on, and do a little bit more training on that aspect of it. And then now you can stay out 30 minutes after and get that experience.
Yeah. So what did you learn your first year as a business owner, as a boating franchise owner?
Oh, probably on people. So one of the other things that we liked about this model is, the people on your team are seasonal. And so that sounded good because, now we're not doing year-round employees and having all the challenges that come with all that. This is seasonal summer job. The challenge with that is consistency for your members. We want to provide a consistent experience. We want somebody greeting you with a smile and helping you get your stuff on the boat and doing all the things that you were talking about earlier with setting up the navigation system and all those. Some of our team is really good at those aspects. Some of them are better at the cleaning the boat and maneuvering the boat around the marina. So training them to give a consistent experience every time took a lot more hand-holding than what I expected. But it's still fun stuff, right?
So do you have repeat seasonal employees that come back?
This year it's going to be all new. So the folks that we had last year, they were at a point where they were moving on with their careers. One of them had just graduated college. The other one was going into a new field. So it was kind of, I think, a stepping stone summer for them. And that works for us as well. There's not that much that we have to train them on. You certainly don't need boating experience. When we're looking for employees, we're looking for somebody that's going to, deliver that member experience that we're talking about more. I can teach anybody to operate the boat.
Right. You can't teach good customer service
That's
very
right.
easily.
Right.
Somebody that anticipates, shows up. You can't teach.
Yeah.
You can say it a lot, but I mean, we talk about customer service all the time and how.
And like I said, just to know that without me having one of the times the way you allow everyone to have enough availabilities, you only allow so many reservations on the books at any one time.
Correct.
So that means we picked our days. We have you going. We have, Val and Rob coming. We've arranged our schedule and we're on the books. But we don't, so we're going to get off at 1 today. And because we knew we were getting off and it was a Saturday, we're like, we'll make plans with our in-laws after that. Well, at like 11:45, the dock hands texted, "Hey, I know you guys like to stay out all day. No one ended up getting your boat. They canceled. Do you want to keep your boat all day?" And we were like, "Oh man, we made plans with our in-law." No, we were going to go see our in-laws, but we came back. But you can't anticipate. How do you teach?
Right.
Hey, those people who will just never get off the boat?
Right.
You know those two.
Yeah.
You've met them.
That want to see every port on the lake every time. Yeah.
You know those guys, right? You know them. Hey, if they don't have it, like they tend to say yes when you do that. If you say, "Hey, no one took it after you."
Yeah.
Do you want to stay on? 90% of the time we said, yeah, we want to keep the boat for the rest of the day.
Knowing your customers, knowing your clientele is good.
Right,
is a
but
good thing too.
that's like an awesome customer service thing.
Yeah,
that you
trying to
had.
be proactive about reaching out. And I mean, we want the boats to be on the water with you guys as much as possible, right? Like those are the biggest thing that we don't want. The two things that we hear that why people leave the club is we didn't use it enough or there wasn't a boat available when we wanted it. So we think, with our low ratio, we've solved the boat ready when you want it. Like we've got great availability. So the other one that we're going to spend more time focusing on this year is we didn't get out enough. And so we did a few of these last year where we did like a wine cruise. One of our members also sells wine. So she came out and did a tasting on the boat with the members.
Nice.
And Captain Meredith took everybody around for a sunset cruise while we did the tasting. So that was
And then
fun.
you did a firework one.
We didn't actually do the
Oh, you
fireworks
didn't one.
We were going to, and I can't remember what happened. I think somebody had the boat that afternoon. I can't remember what
Okay,
happened.
because
But anyway.
I remember being like, oh, fireworks.
So
Yes,
how many?
so we're gonna do
how
that.
many people? How many clients can go out on the boat when you do the wine tasting or the sunset or?
Depends on the boat. I think our largest boat holds 13, so we could do the captain plus 12. We try and keep it a little bit less than that, just so everybody's not sitting on top of each
Yeah, so
other.
knees
but-
aren't touching
Yeah.
knees.
Yeah. I think we held it to 10, but as things grow, we'll put an additional captain on another boat, and we can have 2 or 3 boats out at the same time doing those things.
Yeah, and it's such a nice community.
Yeah, the members have repeatedly said that they love these member events where they get to know each other as well. We did a hike on Rattlesnake where went out and dropped everybody off on the island and did a self-led hike up Rattlesnake Island and then came back down. So that was a fun one.
That's cool.
Yeah, we've got all the boats registered with the Conservation Trust, so all those Conservation Trust islands are available for all of our members to visit, and you can dock there. They look
that's
for that
awesome.
sticker on the boat when you dock. We're going to do the fireworks. I think there's 4 or 5 of them that are done out of the weirs, so we'll do that this year. And so that's nice because then, your captain that's usually got to be, your sober captain.
Right.
Now everybody can come out and have a drink, watch
Right.
the fireworks. We'll bring you back safely to the dock.
Right.
That's
and
cool.
that was one thing that Captain Meredith said, like, we're out on the water, don't drink and drive. It's
Yeah.
just like, it's just so simple because you're going to, just don't drink and drive. So that's why we alternated. That's why John
Yeah.
was very specific about, like, you need to learn to park.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
going to be a time I want to drink for the day and you need to be the captain and I want you to know how to park.
Yeah.
So, and that's why
Did-
stand bars.
Did John
stand
get
bars.
up on his wakeboard this last summer?
He did not.
Yeah, so we got to get him up.
We
on
have to
that.
get him up on a
Yeah.
wakeboard. So when we went out on the rental boat, my brother-in-law and him get in
boy.
there, right? And I don't know, they're big guys. My
Yeah.
brother-in-law's a big guy. My husband's a big guy. Strong, not fat, right? But big, tall, heavy, thick wrists, lift things over your head. I chose him for a reason, And so he's, we're trying to pull him out of the water, but that board is big.
Uh-huh.
It's like...
Oh yeah, it'll
It's
push
a-
a lot of water, and if you don't get it turned around, it's like an anchor, right?
It becomes an anchor, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing that, and Val's Googling. I'm YouTubing it. What you've got to do is, and she's yelling instructions. And they're yelling back at her, stop watching the YouTube video. Because she's yelling for what they need. And then I'm like trying to drive in video her getting yelled at while she's yelling instructions. Actually, it was more fun than them getting up.
Absolutely.
Way better story.
Yeah.
But we will take you up on that.
Yeah.
Because you can't show the little ones until the big ones are doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. And once you see somebody else do it, then, certain things start to click, right? Like I can tell you all day, but a lot of times just seeing somebody else pop up out of the water, it's like, oh, okay. So as this happens, I got to turn a little bit and then you're going.
And that's the thing, neither my brother nor my brother-in-law. I mean, John didn't get up and my brother-in-law also didn't get up.
Yeah.
But we did it at the tail end of a day. I don't think that was helpful either.
Yeah.
I think we need to be like
Fresh
legs,
Yep.
fresh arms,
Yep.
not 7 pounds of chips and deli meats and sandwiches
Right.
and subs and
Yeah.
I think we need to be early morning.
You have to just have him reach out sometime when you're going to be up there, and I'll have somebody come out and take he and I out in the morning, and we'll just teach him, and then he can just surprise your brother-in-law with like,
That-
I can definitely, we're going to do this today, and then
Yeah, you're like, watch
yes,
this.
yes. And we'll do
Yeah.
it like on a Monday or Tuesday
Yeah.
where it's a slow day anyways, and you
Yeah.
guys will have a little more time. Yes,
Great.
definitely. Excellent.
Nice. Excellent. So do you guys do the boat? Did you provide like the inner tubes, like if you want to do tubing, or people have to bring their own?
You have to bring your own, so our insurance doesn't allow us to offer any of the water sports gear. You have to provide all that yourself. However, at Northwater Marine, the marina that we're located at, they have all that available to rent. So,
Nice.
if you're going to be
Yeah.
a regular wakeboarder, you're going to want your own rope, your
Right.
your own vest, your own board. But if it's something where you got your nephews for the weekend and they just want to try out a new thing, or your tube popped yesterday or whatever it is,
That's awesome.
we got you covered on all that.
I want to
stuff.
say it's like $5 or $15, right?
It's very inexpensive to rent the stuff, and then they give life vests because we do adult life vests on all the boats for the number of people the boat's rated for. But kids, I think it's 14 and under on Winnie, have to have a life vest on that fits them.
Yeah,
So not an adult
right.
one, and Northwater gives those to the kids for free.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I think I still have my kids' life jackets.
Somewhere.
Tiny.
They
Yes.
made the move.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
they did.
when you have kids, we encourage people to go out and get one that the kids are excited about wearing. Because
Yeah.
if you gotta wear that the whole day
Yeah.
when you're on the boat, get one with SpongeBob on it or something that
Yeah.
they're going to be
Right.
excited
Yeah.
about.
It's something
throwing
that
on.
fits them
It's a
properly.
good
and-
Absolutely.
investment. It's a good
Yeah.
investment for your kid to like their life jacket.
Yep.
And pets get the one that has the handle.
Yeah.
So when the pet goes
Yes.
overboard, you're just plunking
Yeah.
them right back out.
Well, we had a chocolate lab, but on the back of it, he had a hard time because he always tried to get up the ladder. But he's 112 pounds, so trying to get him up out of the water was not an easy
and he's
feat.
kicking
And,
you
like,
in
when-
your
especially
face.
with me, like no.
So if you bring the lab out, get the Harris pontoon, the Blue Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
That one's got a cool ladder on the back that's great for dogs. It's called a lily pad ladder, and
That ladder's fantastic.
isn't it? Yeah, it's like walking up a set of stairs.
Oh, that's nice.
So big dogs love it. We've
Yeah.
got like Captain Meredith has.
Aunties love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aunties love that because
It's
I was
great.
like, all boats should have this ladder.
Seriously. So
It's an amazing ladder.
We did
we
like
got
we
it on
had
that
like
one, and we'll
a
try it out
ramp
on
kinda
one.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, we jerry rigged like this, some kind of like a, I don't know what he did, made like kind of a little bit of a ramp so he could kind of get up and you could just push his bum up a little
Yeah.
bit enough to get him on the top of on the back.
So did we hold the record for the most miles on a boat for the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
season?
The whole season. Yeah. Absolutely. Because a lot of our out of town members will try to see the whole lake
Yes.
in one day, but I don't think they had the dedication that you guys did to finding that sandbar, because they'll usually go to one port or two and then
Give up.
get exactly
Get tired.
caught up there, and no, you guys made it happen.
And I want to say it was like our first day on the boat, and we were
No,
gonna
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we wanted to take it out for the morning, and he texts us or calls us and says, just keep it for the day. You're all set. Because we went out with Captain Meredith in the
Yeah.
morning for our 2 hours. We had the boat, and then he's like, no one has it, so just take it. And then we're like, I think it's over here. Whee!
The biggest
Hair
boat
blowing.
with the biggest engine also burnt the most fuel
I was
of
gonna
anybody in the day. in a day.
And I was looking at the wrong gauge, so I'm thinking I have plenty of fuel. And he's like, you came back on fuel. In the sunset.
to tow you back.
Yeah, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of that statistic.
So when you say it's a franchise,
Yep.
do you guys, when your initial buy-in, do they give you boats, or do you have to buy your own boats on top of the buy-in for?
We have to buy our own boats on top of the buy-in, so you pay an initial fee to the franchise to buy the territory. So
Right.
we bought the 6 counties of central New Hampshire, so essentially the whole Lakes region. And then we have an agreement to grow over a certain rate. So we have to have 3 clubs over the course of the first 5 years. And then, we're accountable for buying the boats, maintaining the boats, flipping those, having the slips for them. So we don't really get any support on the financial side. However, now that we're in the Brunswick system, it gives us fast access to boats and, a little bit better pricing than what we would getting them on the open market. So
Yeah.
like that Harris Tritune that we put in June, that was one where we'd actually ordered a different boat. There was some sort of production delay, and we kind of changed gears at the last minute and got that purchased that boat, and it delivered within I think it was like a week and a half, like less
wow.
than 10 days.
Wow.
And so within 14 days we had a new boat in the water. So that's important in supporting the growth of the club and the franchise. Is as membership grows, we want to make sure that we're bringing in enough boats to keep everybody out on the water.
And you're also wanting to make sure you're keeping your membership up.
That's
So
it.
that you have the opportunity to be getting new boats, doing different boats.
Exactly.
So you said you had to have 2 more in the next 5 years.
Yep.
Open 2 more.
Yep.
And that's on you.
That's on me.
Your franchise. So where are you looking to do your next 2?
So the biggest challenge is really around availability of slips. So what we thought when we came into Lake Winnie was Lake Winnie might only support 2 or 3 clubs. It's a big lake, but maybe one on the west side, one on the east side. What we found is 80% of our members have a spot where they're residing within 2 miles of the club. So with that kind of a density around the club location, you could essentially put 8 clubs on Winnie. I don't think
Yeah.
that we would put that many on that one body of water, but then there's other great lakes that our members would love to be able to get out and enjoy as well. So there's
Newfound?
Newfound, Sunapee,
Sunapee.
Yeah, Sunapee used to be a good one.
Squam, Ossipee. So it's balancing that demand for new membership, and also, as members of our home club, you also get unlimited access to any of those locations. So you don't have to pick just that one
Right.
location on Winnie. Wherever we, open up a location in the Lakes region, you got unlimited access to those boats as well.
So would you consider Portsmouth area, doing something like along the coast?
There's actually 2 there. So
Oh.
so that's a different franchise. So they're a neighboring club. So we got one franchise that has all of Maine. So there's 6 locations in Maine. Then the guys at the Seacoast, New Hampshire, they've been there for like 16, 17 years now. So that's the one that George was talking about earlier when I was walking in that he'd been out with. But they've got Rye, Newington, which is Back Bay,
Yeah.
and then they've got Newburyport. And then south of Newburyport, starting Beverly and going all the way to Rhode Island, there's 21 locations in Mass. That's the Boston Club.
Wow. So once you get your 3, do you have another commitment to them, or do you have to do that every 5 years?
So
are you,
it's all negotiable. I think if we saturated the territory, then there's not going to be as much for them to push us. But my goal that I've talked about with my wife is we'd love to. We think that 6 clubs in the Lakes region would be about right, and that's something that we can still kind of get our arms around. Where we don't want to have these monster clubs like you see down in Florida, where then you've got to basically own the marina. You've got to have an army of people. Our goal is to have 6 quaint clubs to support membership throughout the Lakes region, keep getting people out on the water, but still remain a largely seasonal business.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because if you had that, like, to me, that would be like, if anybody listening, like, hey, that's something I could do, like buy into a franchise, like talking about that aspect of it. Because I was like, but that pressure to perform is like, wow, because I can't imagine. I mean, imagining starting it up is not an easy or a cheap way to invest, because you've got to buy the boats.
Yeah.
And not only do you buy your buy-in, but you have to buy the boats, and then you're thinking about, well, I've got to start this up again, 2 more times, 3 more times in a different area, and like, just, to me, that would be like, oh man, I would feel the pressure of that.
Yeah.
Other people would be like, yeah, let's do it. But
the access to the slips is really the biggest barrier, and that's when we looked at this in 2024. They wouldn't even sell me the franchise until I had already locked down slip agreements. And so try to negotiate slip agreements when you're not really even a business. Like you say you're with Freedom Boat Club, but you're not. And it's like, well, I aspire to be. It's a chicken.
One day I hope to be with your assistance. I will become one. Yeah.
So I spent like a month in May of 2024 just knocking on every door around the lake that had a dock, because they said, well, if you're going to take this territory of central New Hampshire, you got to start on Lake Winnie. That's that's where we wanted to be anyway. So that made good sense. But spent a month knocking on doors, found 4 different locations that were willing to host us, but really decided on North Water Marine because they have
good
all
parking.
The infrastructure to support it. So, there's a lot of hazards on Lake Winnie. So if you go out there and say we've got an out-of-town member from Boston that comes up and runs one of the boats through the rocks and takes off the lower unit, now that's jeopardizing Lisa's time in the afternoon, right? So we luckily did not have to call any members and cancel their boating day, because I mean that's time that you're planning. You might have planned that weeks in advance, and so we work hard to not have to make that call. But Northwater, having that relationship with them there with all their resources to pull the boat, replace a lower unit, like we try to run engines that they have parts for on the shelf, that they'll service those engines for us. So there were multiple times where somebody went out, did some damage, and we didn't even have to miss the afternoon slot because we've got that team behind us. And that allows us to, again, stay small, so I don't have to employ a full-time maintenance person and keep a whole parts room full of spare parts. Like those guys are happy to do that for us.
Yeah. Nice. So can you stay with us another hour?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Kyle Gassman from Freedom Boat Club. This is Lisa and Robyn on the mic on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You're listening on WSMN.live. We'll be at the top of the hour. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation with Freedom Boat Club so that we can enjoy our summer.
Broadcasting from 200 Main Street in the beautiful and historic Masonic Building. This is WSMN 1590 AM and WSMN 95.3 FM, Nashua. Streaming live at WSMN.live.
USA Radio News. I'm John Summers. A Virginia judge blocked the state from certifying the results of Tuesday's redistricting referendum.
Virginia voters approved the plan, which could expand the Democratic Party's 5-6 advantage in the Commonwealth's congressional delegation to 10-1. Now, a judge is ruling the referendum was unconstitutional. Virginia's Attorney General has vowed to appeal the decision. 2 previous efforts to block the referendum have been struck down by the Virginia Supreme Court. This comes after President Trump claimed the vote was rigged when a massive mail-in ballot drop shifted the odds in favor of Democrats.